Hello, everyone. Welcome to Deconstructing the Dark Passenger podcast, the podcast about all things Dexter. I'm Jean.
I'm Victoria.
Today, Season 3, Episode 9, About Last Night. We open up with Dexter is going about the pretense of his new domestic life.
Feeding the kids.
Making lunch and do all that. He's doing this thing he did with Lila where he's like, well, somebody knows my truth and my reality. And I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
Every time you get to this point, still shows up. And she's like, look, where was Miguel? He was out all night. Was he with you? He said he was with you. I don't believe it. Dexter's like, yes, he was with me. And Dexter's actually being really forthright. And he's like, oh, I got home around, 2 o'clock? So I was like, well, yeah, okay, awesome. But Miguel just got home an hour ago. So Dexter now is like, oh, okay.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Well, I don't know where he was after midnight. He wasn't with me.
Which makes us all wonder.
Well, we don't wonder because we saw the end of the last episode. But
yeah, I know. But
yeah,
it can still be one of those things that makes you go,
Yeah, not really because we saw the end of the last episode. But, so Dexter goes to Miguel's, and he's like, you need to work on your alibis. Like, you have to tell me what's going on, because I just told her the truth, and it turned out that that's not what needed to happen.
Yeah.
Well, he tells him he was at this place, Jack's Hideaway. And
he was hyper after the kill.
Yeah, he does this little sly smile. He's like, I got a motion hearing this morning I don't want to miss. And Dexter's like, wait a minute. He lets Miguel go, but he's like, wait, Jack's Hideaway, he actually killed somebody from Jack's Hideaway
last year.
And Jack's Hideaway closes at 2.
Dum.
Which is not just an hour ago, because it's about 8 o'clock in the morning right now. So he's like, oh, Miguel just lied to me. Oh, boy.
Yeah. As Miguel's driving off, Dex is like, did he just lie to me? He just lied to me. And I'm just like, oh, Dexter, this is not the first time Miguel has lied to you.
He'd been lying to you, sir. They're still following up with this Anton thing. There's no evidence at his apartment. So they figured out what happened. He had gone to take his trash out to his dumpster, and that's where the Skinner had gotten him.
Yeah.
Deb's like, oh, realistically, how long do we have before the Skinner kills him? Oh, he's a big guy. He's got a lot of skin.
I think it was Dexter who said that.
Yeah, Dexter's like, yeah, he's a big guy. And she's like, is that supposed to make me feel better? What are you talking about? So then
I think they figure, 24 hours or something?
Something like that. So Anton is with Mr. King, Senor King. And Anton's like, hey, man, how much money was it? I'll give you money. And he's like, I didn't lend you the money. I let Freebo the money. I want the money from Freebo because it's not about the money. It's about the respect. It's about, if I let you go, or I let other people pay other people's debts, there goes all my power, basically.
Yep.
So he's already taken a big chunk out of his back.
Yeah. I mean, he moved a lot quicker on Anton than he moved on anybody else, I think.
Well, except for Wendell.
Oh, well, Wendell had a whole lot gone, too.
Go back to the station. Maria is leaving a message for Ellen. She apparently missed her Chicky Hines motion that morning.
Yeah, Maria knew that wasn't going to happen. And Dexter overhears her.
And Harry's like, that could be a coincidence. Could be.
Maybe.
So Deb and Quinn go to George King's house. There's a shed there, which I guess would make sense. That's where you would skin a person, I guess.
Yeah, and they've been told to make sure everything's above board.
Right. And so they currently have no probable cause to go into this shed.
They're waiting on the search warrant.
Right. And Deb's like, I hear somebody screaming, let's go.
She just can't stop herself.
Yeah.
She busts in, and it's just a shed.
Couple
tools. That's it. No blood, no nothing.
Yeah, no blood, no nothing. No blood, no tools.
An empty shed.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. That's not where we saw Anton.
Nope.
So Miguel is on the phone with Dexter. And Dexter's like, hey, yeah, what about that hearing? How was your hearing? How'd it go? And Miguel's like, oh, I got some ideas for some more projects. More projects?
You just did to us.
I got other things to do, Miguel. Yeah, and this is where we get this funny scene with Vince and Gianna. They're on the Skinner tip line. And Vince is being creepy about meeting chicks from other departments. And Angel's like, don't talk your filth at her.
Yeah. I mean, poor Poor Vince, man. And nobody believes he can have a serious conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, no. No, it is your lady. She is, who he calls her, the Wikipedia of perv. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, the Wikipedia perv.
So Quinn and Deb, they're still at King's house, and he's pulling in. And
This guy.
I mean, he's like, I know my rights, because they're basically interrogating him in his driveway. He's like, look, I know my rights, because we'll take you in. He's like, well, you can only hold me for a day. I feel like you always have these scenes in these shows like this where you have this smug criminal. I'm like, no, criminals are one of two ways. They're incredibly stupid and they're just going to break down, or they're like too smart to be this smug.
Yeah.
You know? And you're never going to catch them like this, you know? But you will get, I mean, yeah, you know your rights. It doesn't mean you're guilty.
It doesn't mean they have to always go by that, though.
Well, as we just saw with Deb in the shed. Probable cause, what? Do what? A warrant? Huh?
Miami Metro doesn't do well with those.
Go back to the station. Poor Mario. Mario is panicked here at this point. But they're questioning King about his past with the Contra, right?
Yes.
And about you had interrogation techniques, and Deb is getting very aggressive, and Quinn's like, Deb, why don't you go get some coffee? She's like, I guess I can't ever do my job because all these men are always like, just calm down. I mean, it really is like, calm down.
Yeah.
Go. But we see in other instances where Joey's not always calm.
No,
when it's something
not.
he feels strongly about.
Yeah, exactly.
But Dexter, okay, so Dexter gets this vibe from King, which he shares with Deb. He's like, his vibe is respect, right?
Yes.
Like, it's all about respect for him. So the way to be successful with him is to show him some deference. Okay? And in the meantime, LaGuerta walks by. Dexter's going about his business because he's giving Deb the advice. He's like, this is my advice now. I'm going to go get on with my life. Do with the information what you will, which
yes.
she does. But he sees Maria. He's like, hey, I heard about your friend Ellen. Is she sick? Because I hear there's something going around. And Maria's like, I don't know. There's just no answer.
Yeah, she missed a very important thing at work today.
Yep. And so Dexter goes over to her house. And her car is still there. She won't answer her door.
Yep.
But her car is still there. So Dexter goes ahead and just walks in. Yeah. Pulls out his trusty luminol. And there are indeed traces of blood here. We got this funny moment with Harry is sitting there with Ellen's corpse.
Yeah.
He's like,
holding her hand, like bouncing her hand up and down.
Like, hey, sir, you fell for it. Dumbass. Dex realizes at this moment, he sees all this evidence of mayhem has occurred at this house, and he remembers that when he had killed Freebo, instead of admitting that he had chopped him up and dumped him in the Gulf, he said, oh, well, I just buried him in an open grave and covered him up. And so he's like, that's what fucking Miguel did with Ellen. Great. Awesome. Meantime, Rita still has an open house. She's supposed to be showing Rita the real estate ropes, but she's got her own issues right now. Right? So Rita's going to do this open house on her own. Miguel shows up with some flowers, and he's like, hey, where's Syl? And Rita straight up, she's like, you're an idiot.
You know, you violated her trust. And that's when he starts in with, you have great insight.
Oh, you're a wise person, Rita. You might have saved my life. I'm like, well, maybe, possibly.
He's so full of shit.
You potentially saved your marriage, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It is strange. We believe that she has taken what Dexter said to heart about showing respect.
Yeah.
Using the respect card as you're trying to get King to talk. And she goes in there, you know, I understand that respect is important to you. And then all of a sudden she just snatches up his chair, like tips him out of his chair and just like starts wailing on him.
Deb, how is that respect? Girl.
Why'd you even bother?
Come on, Deb.
He could confess to anything now and it won't matter because you've just beat the shit out of him for no reason.
And he's just going to say, you know, she was beating me. I said whatever I had to say to get her off.
So Quinn breaks it up and he's basically telling Deb that, like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing here? They both are taking the blame for it, which I think is sweet. They're blaming, at first he's blaming her and she's blaming him, but then they realize like they're really mad at themselves.
Yeah.
It's this whole bonding moment. Like they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay as a team. For a minute, maybe. We'll see. In the meantime, Dexter goes to the cemetery and he's checking all the open graves and he finds the one where Ellen is. And he's like, oh, there's going to be plenty more where this one came from.
Yeah, and she looked rough right then.
She did look rough.
She looked rough the minute he found her.
She has been dead at this point. This is the same morning. So Dexter, I mean, what, it's been maybe 12 hours? Maybe. And she looks like she's been dead for a couple days.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
It is.
And he's going to leave her there for a minute. But then he kind of realizes, like, this is just going to keep happening.
And people are going to start looking for her.
People are going to start looking for her. Miguel's not going to stop, and Miguel does not have the code that Dexter has.
And we don't know if Miguel got cut or anything and left any blood at Ellen's, or if it's all Ellen's blood.
Right. So he's like, okay. He goes back to the grave. He starts uncovering her, which is going to be hilarious in a minute. He goes to lunch with Miguel, and he's like, we agreed. And Miguel's like, no, we agreed not to do it together. Dexter's like, she was innocent. And
yeah,
Miguel's like, well, we have
different views on innocent.
Or guilty. Yeah, we have different definitions of what guilty is. And he starts talking about trust and the shirt.
Yeah.
I like Dexter here. He's like, well, you're just another lowlife that beat and stabbed an innocent woman. Yeah. That's right. And it kills Miguel to be lumped in with these people that he is supposedly fighting all the time to get put into jail.
Exactly.
But you're exactly like them. There's nothing different about you.
Yep.
Except, you pretend you have a decent motive, but you don't.
Yeah.
Dexter's voice over here is like, it is time for Miguel to learn that he's not untouchable.
Yeah.
Which he's made his progress on that by uncovering the body. Yeah. At the station, Maria is talking to Deb about King. I don't know. Their relationship is very weird because she's trying to be like, maybe you don't need to be working with people so much or whatever. She does this thing where it's like, well, maybe kind of keeping this wall up and being this tough person. Like, I used to do that and I thought it made me a better cop, but maybe it doesn't. I don't know. This stuff with Maria and Deb always feels so messy to me.
It feels very practiced sometimes to me.
It's very strange.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I always go back and forth with Maria because I feel like that was a character that they just should have spent more time on. It should have been more consistent with the characterization.
I mean, I don't always like her, but I don't always hate her either. Her and Deb just never hit it off.
Yeah, it was always a struggle with those two.
Yeah.
And it always feels awkward when they're together.
And Maria's trying to be nice.
Yeah. And yeah, because then Deb's like, she doesn't know how to take it. So there's these two kids at the cemetery. They're kids playing in the cemetery, which is weird.
I've never played in a cemetery.
Never played in a cemetery. And these two kids stumble over this grave. All right. Miguel has already had his moment with Mr. King. And he's like talking down the evidence because everybody's like, this is the guy. He is definitely the guy. And he's picking apart the case. I don't know. We don't really have any evidence. He's not admitting to anything. And they come back with, well, if we can arrest him, we can maybe buy time for Anton Briggs. If he is the guy, we would buy time for Anton Briggs. And right around this time, they get called out to the cemetery.
Case.
Yeah. Ellen's body is raunchy, man. How long? She would have been dead a day.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like.
I mean, not even a day. She's been dead a couple hours.
The coloring they had on her.
She looks like she's been dead for about 5 days. Right?
Yeah.
She's rough looking. Dexter cleaned everything up, so there's not going to be any evidence, but the point wasn't to get Miguel caught. The point was to remind Miguel where he came from here.
Yes.
I know what you're doing, and it's pretty easy for me to ruin your life if I really wanted to. And then poor Maria. Doak's last season. Yeah. She's all torn up. So Miguel approaches Dexter at the crime scene. He's like, oh, so you're just making a point here. I follow the code or else. And Dexter's like, there's a little more subtleties to it, but okay, that's fine. If that's all you got from it, fine, good enough. Yeah, I don't know what the other subtleties were.
And they have a line open for tips, too.
Yes.
And Gianna and Vince are there on their days off helping.
Yeah.
And having a very interesting conversation.
Okay. Yeah. She's telling him stories about the Vice Squad.
Uh-huh.
And he thinks it's funny. And Angel's like, don't be talking to my lady like that. And he's like, dude, she's the one telling the stories.
Yeah, she's the one who started talking about it, not me.
Not me. But I do want to say that there is this thing when Miguel and Dexter were having their back and forth. He kind of, so he seems very. He's like, oh, you're being, you saved my life, and you're being so insightful, and blah blah blah. And it seems very overwhelming. Kind of, he's like giving Dexter all this deference, and even Dexter is kind of suspicious of, like, it seems kind of insincere.
Yeah.
And it will bear itself out. This is where he goes over to see Rita, and they're doing a cake testing, and he finds out that Rita had a similar experience with Miguel, because she had tried to, she was trying to talk him down with this thing with Syl, like saying, like, you gotta, maybe you've been married a long time, and she was trying to give him advice about how to make things up to Syl.
Yeah.
And he had been telling her, oh, you're a wise person, and you have a lot of insight, and I think you saved my life. And Rita says to Dexter, this is what he told me, blah, blah, blah. He said I was a wise person, and I saved his life. And Dexter's like, that sounds familiar. He just said that to me.
Yeah, he just, yeah.
So now it's finally fucking done. I'm like, Miguel, you can't get new material from person to person. You don't think they're going to compare notes?
Yeah, and then he realizes that maybe he needs to test the blood on the shirt that Miguel gave him.
Yes. I'm so excited. Once he decided to test that shirt, I'm like, great, this is good, because this is the real fun to start in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Angel and Maria are at the station. She's like, we need to get some movement on the Skinner case, because this Ellen Wolf thing is about to take over. Now here, Miguel, they brought King in, and Miguel is like, I will go ahead and try to make a deal with King, kind of like get this dealt with, and he goes in there. So, I mean, Angel's trying to do the right thing, because Miguel doesn't want to be on the record of...
He can't offer him a plea if he's got a lawyer with him.
Right, he doesn't have his lawyer. So, Angel's like, well, that camera doesn't really work anyway.
Yeah.
So he goes in there, and he actually just turns it off anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back out later. He's like, yeah,
he won't go for it.
I got nothing. Yeah, he won't go for it. But in the meantime, Dexter has taken the shirt to the state. He's testing it. They go to Deb and Quinn. They have nothing with King now, so they go back to Mario's house. There's palm fronds in front of Mario's house. The Skinner's been here. We think. Maybe. But Mario now, they're kind of like, look, there's palm fronds. He's coming to get you. We can't help you if you don't help us. It's standard cop stuff. And now Mario's spilling his guts about, he's got this building under this overpass. He pays for it in cash. And then they're like, okay, now we know where to go. And Deb picks up Joey, and he's paying off some tree trimmers.
Yeah, that was the great part.
That was great. So I feel like this is a thing where, like, the pacing gets a little weird. Like, they probably should have stretched this out. Maybe started this earlier in the episode, or maybe stretched it out over 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Deb and Quinn get to this little place under the overpass. So they get there, they pull up to this overpass, and King is, like, unlocking the door. They don't see him, I guess, but he sees their headlights coming, and he takes off. I almost died. They believe correctly that Anton is in this building, but they can't get in, right? So I'm like, okay, I mean, the battering ram, SWAT team, it's just something.
Nope.
Joey just fucking runs the car into the building.
The Cadillac.
Wait a minute. You don't know where Anton is. You could have just run into him. You don't know how structurally strong this building is. You could have just collapsed this whole fucking thing on him. I could not believe it.
I didn't think of any of that. I was just like, yes.
I was like, this is not a big building. It's not, I mean, and they had no idea where he was. He could have been right on that wall. They had no idea. I could not believe it. No wonder you got IA investigating you if you're doing shit like this all the time. The whole reason they're there is to save Anton. Well, like, oh, well, at least the Skinner didn't kill him. I killed him, at least wasn't the Skinner.
I'm sure nobody who made that show was ever thinking about that when they did that.
I know they weren't thinking about that when they did that. Oh. We go back to the station. Dexter is running his tests, and the results come back. And it's not human blood. It's certainly not Fremo's blood. It is cow blood. Bovine. It is bovine.
Dexter's furious.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
And you see this whole scene of him just throwing the computer through the window and screaming Miguel and trashing his entire office. And then all of a sudden Miguel opens the door. Nothing's been trashed. Yeah. Dexter's just sitting there, but you can see the anger on his face. Miguel's like, 9 holes in the morning?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was like a great scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Dexter's freaking out. Miguel is making moves on Maria, like comforting her about Ellen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Dexter realizes, and when he gets that blood back, he's like, oh, he was already a fucking monster. I just kind of like
pushed it along.
I just showed him how to do it. Like,
yep. This episode was a lot.
It was a lot.
It wasn't a lot in the sense of a lot happened. It was the sense of it was just so heavy, like the King stuff.
Yeah.
And the trying to find Anton. Ellen being dead. I mean,
that Ellen thing was wild.
Yeah, because, Dexter knew right away, and he made sure of it. And then he went and found Ellen. Miguel had balls.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he just turned around and did it. Like, just wait a day or two.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I mean, not only that, but Dexter's going to know right away. If you'd waited a couple of days, Dexter might have taken an extra hour to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, Dexter was going to know either way, but...
And I wonder, he didn't know how to get rid of a bot. Like, he knew to put it in the grave. Mm-hmm. And to cover it, of course. But, what did he use to clean up? Because there was still blood in the house. Like, if you luminoled.
Yeah. Yeah, he did luminol.
So, what did he use to clean up that just didn't really do a good job?
I mean, he could use anything. I mean, he probably used bleach. Well, you would think he would know that just bleach won't do it. But, I mean, yeah, because there was still evidence all over the place.
Yeah. It was just crazy that he felt like he could do something like that on his own so quickly.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Dexter finally sees what Miguel was doing. That Miguel was just moving pieces. Dexter sees that now.
Yeah.
And, his coup is up or whatever.
The gig is up?
Gig is up. Yeah.
Okay. So, I think in general, I did like this episode. Like I said, I think the stuff with Deb and Maria's always kind of feels awkward and weird. I do like we got a little movement with Deb and Quinn, like maybe they'll be able to work together.
Yeah. Maybe they can get along a little bit better. They see each other's views. You know?
And I mean, the thing with Dexter, you have to beat him over the head with this Miguel stuff, but he finally got it.
Yeah. It is not going to be pretty.
I still cannot get over her body.
It was just so rough looking.
Well, they said he stabbed her and he beat her, stabbed her, and strangled her. Because they were like, what was the cause of death? And it's like, I don't take your pick. You couldn't have any of this stuff.
The beating, the strangling. Yeah. Yeah, she looked bad, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it is exactly how you would imagine seeing somebody who's been dead for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
you don't imagine them to look like that just at the 12-hour or so mark.
Yeah, it was rough. But like I said, in general, I think this is a pretty strong episode. A couple kind of awkward moments, but I think overall, we didn't have the stupid thing about it's the Skinner's been here. We didn't have that, which is good. Enjoy it on this episode because we're going to get it again.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
In a minute. But I keep coming back to this whole idea of We need to have Dexter working on some aspect of becoming a real person every season. This season, it was Dexter makes a friend. That part of it feels kind of forced. The problem is I don't know how else they would have made this story happen. Maybe don't even take away the idea of Dexter makes a friend, but I think maybe stop being so ham-handed and preachy about it.
Yes.
I think that might be the thing.
And he needs to stop being so damn happy about it.
It's so weird.
Because every time he gets a friend, he gets happy, and they disappoint him.
I mean, he just jumps right in. Like, I'm not a serial killer, and I'm a little more careful about the people I spend time with than he is.
Yeah.
You've known this guy for 2 weeks, and you're killing people with him.
The ADA.
I mean,
of Miami.
I've known people for years, and I'm still like, I don't know if I want to eat cookies that you made in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, it's weird how he just gets all buddy. Let's go do some killing.
Let's go kill some people.
No,
yeah.
no.
And then he gets upset. I'm like, but this is part of him not understanding people, is not seeing that this guy was not ever right. He was always kind of unhinged. So why wouldn't he have killed Ellen?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I guess you say he didn't have a Harry in his life to say, well, you can justify killing anybody if you really want to kill them.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. I think we're getting into a really good stretch of episodes here. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about this one in particular.
I don't either. I think it's the next couple that get hot and heavy that good things happen.
Yeah, some interesting things happen. We're going to get to one point where I'm going to have a lot to say about something, but we're not there yet. Right?
Just get ready.
Just get ready. Get ready. I'm going to have an opinion.
And we all know how her opinions go.
Yes. So until next week when we're talking about season 3, episode 10, also check out our podcast, The Final Assessment, which is a podcast about the show Evil. And also check out Outside Food and Drink, which is our podcast about movies. We do all kinds of movies all over the place. We have months where we do themes and stuff like that, but we try to kind of stretch out and do a wide variety. But anyway, until then, check out those and come join us next week when we talk about episode 10. And I don't have anything else.
I'm good.
Okay, so until next week.
Later.
Later.